Welcome to Binge Watchers, where we talk about the stories and characters we love and the shows they live in. My name is Ron, and let's talk about Season 1 of Happy. Happy tells the story of Nick Sachs. He's a washed-up NYPD detective who messed up everything in his life and has had an incredible talent for murdering people horribly. Nick doesn't know it, but he has a young daughter who gets kidnapped along with a few other kids, and she asks her imaginary friend Happy, as you do, to go find Nick and get him to rescue her. All Haley, Nick's daughter, knows about Nick is that he was a cop and back in the day was considered a hero cop, which is why he's the one that comes to mind when, she needs rescuing. Happy is a little blue flying unicorn voiced by Patton Oswald. So Happy goes and finds Nick, and now they have to try and find Haley together, and we have our show. On first glance, this show looked like a gimmick show to me. Lots of shows do things where, they take a character, almost always a detective or former detective, and pair him or her with some new idea that's cool for a few episodes but gets old really quick. Even with shows that I kind of liked, like iZombie or Lucifer, which is a zombie helps a detective solve crimes and the actual devil helps a detective solve crimes, I can't stay invested in these shows for too long. I'll watch an episode here and there while I'm washing dishes or something, but these shows get so repetitive that the gimmick of having a zombie or the devil or insert whatever here just isn't enough. So that's what I thought Happy was gonna be, especially because Nick Sachs is such a familiar character, a grizzled older detective who doesn't play by the rules, but deep down, goddammit, he's a good guy. And he also happens to be the world champion of ass kicking. You probably see where I'm going with this. I had an absolute great time with this show. So there were a few things that eventually got me to watch this show. First, it popped up on Netflix, easy. Second, Christopher Meloni, awesome. And third, it's an 8-episode season. And ever since I saw Meloni as Chris Keller on Oz years ago, he instantly became one of my favorite TV actors, but he was sort of relegated to the supporting role world. He's had a ton of success on a number of different shows, but he was never the main guy. And between things like Oz, Wet Hot American Summer, Law & Order, SVU, he has an incredible range between psychopath, ridiculous, and serious. And Nick Sachs is all of those things. This is one of those things where it feels like no other actor was right for this role. The character he plays here is the familiar older detective. He's violent, he's divorced, he doesn't really know how to talk to people, he only knows how to get out of tight situations and kick ass. The fact that my last video was about Bosch goes to show how common this character is, but Nick is almost a parody of this character. He's so incredibly over the top that it actually feels fresh and different. Other than the whole older detective trope, the second thing I was worried about was Happy. Is this going to be a fun, interesting part of the story, or just like a wacky gimmick? And I have to say they kind of pull it off. Patton Oswald is pretty great as Happy, and Happy gets an actual arc. He's a real character, and the interaction between Happy and Nick is fun. As far as odd couple partnership stories go, this is one of the better ones I've seen lately. The show itself is incredibly violent, and the weirdness doesn't really stop with the imaginary friend thing. Everything in this show is a much weirder version of itself. They don't stop with, hey, kids were kidnapped and now our main characters have motivation, but it's the kids were kidnapped and here's the incredibly weird reasons why the kids were kidnapped, and here's some insight into the deranged people involved in the kidnapping. I guess the only thing I didn't love about the show was the other detective character, not because she wasn't good, she was fine, but because she was the standard character that you would expect to see, while everybody else is a version of that character that fits this story better. But I guess they wanted to tether the show to more familiar TV by having one or two, I guess, quote unquote, normal characters. So bottom line, should you watch it? I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, I thought Happy was a great time. Christopher Meloni is a pleasure to watch. he's fantastic in this role. The guy's almost 60 and he's killing it. Watching guys like him and Bruce Campbell on Ash vs. Evil Dead just do these insane roles gives me hope for when me and my friends one day could be goofy 60-year-old dudes just embarrassing our children endlessly. The only thing I will say is that I hope that if this goes on for future seasons, that it doesn't kind of go into that place of, 22 episodes, Happy and Nick solve crimes type of situation. I hope they find something as crazy as season 1. If they're ever gonna do more seasons, I would actually be fine if this is it. What about you? Have you watched season 1 of Happy? What were your thoughts about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Just be sure to use spoiler tags if you're gonna be talking about spoilers. And what are some other really weird shows that are, genuinely strange, but you feel that they pull it off and it's not just like, ooh, look how weird we are. I'd like to thank everybody on the Binge Watchers Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And you can find me on Twitter and TV Time and Instagram. Links to everything down below, including our Discord server, which is of course free, where we chat about TV and it's a lot of fun. I know I've been absent from there lately because I had some stuff going on, but I'm back now, so I'm right in there with you. And if you're finding Binge Watchers for the first time, welcome. I'd like to invite you to join the Binge Watchers community. Come talk about TV with us. It's a lot of fun. But in any case, keep binging. And I forgot to say subscribe to the channel. But I will see you next time.